Hello, 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 and welcome back to my channel. And as always, this is going to be the top 10 banknote sales on eBay. Last week we had, as always, also the auction house sales. This time we're going to have the eBay on the last month of May 2024. And this time, well, as an exception, there's only one Chinese banknote. So we'll start with the number 10, and the number 10 is from the Philippines, from the Victory series, which it's after the Second World War, or it's still in 1944, I think, or 1949, sorry. And this Victory series means that the 500 pesos in this case in the back will have the words victory. The lower amount, so the 5, 1, 10 pesos and so are easier to get and you see them quite often. 500 pesos, which I believe at the time was equivalent to $500, it's hard to get, and this one was, yeah, someone accepted an offer for below $4,000 for an extremely fine of a banknote that you rarely see. Ninth place goes to something that you see more often, but not in this good grade. Switzerland pick 52, the 1,000 francs from 1974. This banknote was sold out of China, out of all places, and the price on this one was $4,319. I don't actually know this seller, World Banknote Store in China. It's the first time that I see something from him, but he has already some positive feedback. So, eighth most expensive one in here. I mean, the photo is not the best, but this is Egypt pick 162 in PMG 66, sold here out of California on from Better Notes. He accepted an offer below $4,500. Um, these are banknotes that are issued by the different authority, normally just very low values in the piastres, like 10, 25 piastres and so on. Some of them, this 1.5, are very, very hard to get, especially in good grades. Seven most expensive one, and here I'm not counting Hong Kong as part of China. So a specimen from the $1,000, in this case from the HSBC series from 1985. Here, of course, specimen, and our friend from Mona Lisa Money Mondo sells a lot of these out of Canada, a lot of specimens. He seems to have a never-ending amount of relatively rare banknotes in specimen format. And this one you see here, PMG 66, for a staggering $5,200. Sixth most expensive one, and this had been here on the channel a few times. Recently, not so much, as well. This was issued already, well, now 7 years ago, I think, or 6, 7 years ago, and this is the commemorative banknote for the largest banknote in the world in terms of size, 600 ringgit from Malaysia. There's also the 60 ringgit that goes along with this. This had a very limited amount of banknotes that were issued. I don't remember anymore how many. I think 6,000 pieces or so. Value here was close to $5,500 for a PMG 67. Fifth most expensive one, and there was a batch of these being sold recently from South Korea. So a few South Korean banknotes entered the market. This one, PMG 64 from the pick 27. So 1960s South Korea for 501. Yeah, $5,500 on this one, actually sold here in the US. Not the nicest banknote anyway, visually, but the very decent price. This banknote I do have, actually, the pick 8 from Libya, and I was not aware that this would go for such high amount. So I'm not really sure if this is a real sale. I mean, Isra Numi's from Israel has a lot of banknotes that he sells, and he's a trusted seller. I'm just not sure if this was someone that really paid this amount or not. I do have this banknote, 5,550 would sound okay for an uncirculated, maybe almost uncirculated, but for a very fine, it sounds a bit too high. I also have a very fine, maybe extremely fine, not graded. It's not the most beautiful banknote. There, the design, the lithography is nice, but there's nicer banknotes also from Libya. Pick or third most expensive one comes from Pakistan. Um, this one sold by Better Notes. Also, here I would not buy this banknote if it wasn't graded as it's here in PNG 64, because there are quite a few fake overprints here and there using the original reserve banknote of India and then adding by printer or by something else, some other format, the government of Pakistan there, the overprint. But this one, of course, very, very rare. An original PMG 64 sold for somewhere below the 7,800 bucks. We don't know. And then, of course, the China banknote, and this is the only one, like I said, this was the second one that this guy from Cyprus sold. Also a seller that I'm not really familiar with. Big 868, PMG 64, around $10,000. That was the price of this one. Not going to go into much detail about these Chinese banknotes. There were quite a ton of them already being sold here and there. Wildcard, and this is actually an interesting thing. 15,000 banknotes treasure box for YouTube. I'm not sure why it's for YouTube, but I mean, from the photo you can see it's all relatively low value stuff, or actually very low value. I can see some Cordoba's from Nicaragua, some of these Sen series from Indonesia, some stuff from Yugoslavia, Moldova, one Leo, some more Indonesia here and there, some grivna from the Ukraine, the one, what else? Some Belarus, 20, 50 ruble. Yeah, so it's going to be a very, it's a large amount of cheap banknotes, and I'm not sure. A lot of them probably are uncirculated, but I'm not really sure about the whole thing, especially the Yugoslavian ones don't seem to be uncirculated. I mean, someone paid less than 5,000 for these, which account to around 33 cents per piece. Let's say that the guy paid 4,000, so it's around 25 cents each. Still a bit steep for the quality of these banknotes, but well, someone paid something like that, and 3 people had this in their card, so yeah. But good, let's go to the most expensive one, and this time this comes from Saudi Arabia. Pick 14B. This one is 2 pieces, and this is what the people in the Middle East do a lot of these. Say that the real uncirculated is if you have 2 serial numbers, one after the other, in the same uncirculated or same grade, and this is one of these cases. So basically, a banknote that is not, it's already, let's say, uncommon to rare. 2 serial numbers, one after the other, so in a row, both of them PMG 67, big 14B. So that comes to something of $15,000, $15,600. That was the highest banknote sold, in this case 2 banknotes sold in May 2024 on eBay. And that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this video as always. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment box. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time with some new acquisitions. This time nothing very spectacular. Bye bye.